Okay everybody, today we're with Tanja here in Belgrade. So Julie and I are going to spend some time walking around with Tanja today. She's going to tell us a little bit about her life here in Belgrade. And Tanja, you're originally from?
Finland.
Finland. And so she's going to give us a little bit of a different perspective on what it's like to live here, and we'll talk about what it costs for her to have a nice lifestyle here in Belgrade.
Okay, so first we're gonna go to Skadarska. That is very famous area to visit in Belgrade. It is the old Bohemian quarters where artists used to live in like 200 years ago. And the area was already lost its glory, but then it was renovated again back in like 50 years ago. And now it's very famous. It's a beautiful area, full of restaurants. It's a pedestrian street, but then again it's not very common for locals to go eating there, but it's a very nice place to walk through and feel the atmosphere of that. You may sit down to have a drink or something like that, but usually the better places for dining are elsewhere. But let's go and see how it looks like.
Super. So this is another pedestrian area here in Belgrade called Skadarska. Skadarska.
Skadarija is the neighborhood and Skadarska is the street we are seeing here.
Right here. Okay. Oh, so they got a lot of building going on down here. So this is kind of the Bohemian area, but it's under construction. So they're repairing the road. It looks like there was cobblestone here before?
Yes, there is a cobblestone, but it used to be also on asphalt like some years ago. But then when they renovated, they kind of returned the original style of this.
Yeah, I can see it would be really cute if I had little cobblestones going down here. It'd be like a little old village. Now this is Julie's, if you watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and the kids are going to the chocolate factory, this is Julie's equivalent. She's in her little Willy Wonka world.
I love healthy food so much.
What is that, figs?
Yeah.
You want to get some figs, honey?
I would love to get some figs.
This was really turning into a bad idea, bringing Julie into this green market. The idea was to get together with Tanja to do an interview and talk to her about her life here. I needed to get Julie out of this place, and getting her out of a green market is like pulling teeth. So I twisted some arms. We slowly meandered our way out of the green market, took a stroll down the street, and we stopped over at Tanja's front door area. So we're going through a pass-through. Okay, very cool.
This is like very typical Belgrade.
And this is a house behind a bunch of buildings.
Yeah, this house is 121 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's very weird. But yeah, but I'm sorry I'm supposed to get this home. And
Okay.
She was a street cat, so she goes.
Thanks for having our tea time with you and wine, and we're going to talk about your life in Belgrade in Serbia. Živeli. So it's exciting to meet somebody that's living here from another country, and she's also an avid blogger, and she blogs in several different languages. So I'm going to be giving a link to her blog in the video description, so you can follow Tanja along after this. And you do how many languages in your blog?
Oh no, actually, yeah, only two.
Two languages?
English and Finnish, yes.
Oh, so
it's totally impossible to find time to write in more languages. Actually, I have 3 different blogs, and having them in 2 different languages, it's quite a lot of work.
Okay, so still 2 more languages than I blog in, and still a blog more than I blog. So I will tell you that she's got some good information in there in her English blog, and it's called Please Be Seated, Get Ready for Takeoff.
Please be seated for takeoff.com.
Please be seated for takeoff.com. So that will be down in the description here. We're going to take a look inside of Tanja's life here, and you've lived in Serbia for how many years?
I've been here total of around 3 years, but I've been on and off. But now I've been here more than 2 years in a row.
Okay. And you are currently renting full-time here in Belgrade.
Yes.
And the location is really ideal. It's within walking distance of the, I'm going to butcher the name of the fortress. How do you say it?
Kopitareva Kradina is the area after.
Oh, the area, and the fortress is what you said?
Yeah,
the
fortress.
Kalemegdan.
Kalemegdan Fortress. She's within walking distance of there. She's also within walking distance of downtown.
Yes,
the
Republic
Square.
Yeah, 10 minutes from there.
As you saw in the intro, we met her right there, and it was a 10-minute walk. We walked around the neighborhood. So we're going to ask you, as far as your lifestyle here, you feel you're very content and you have a good quality life?
Yes, definitely. Yes. Yeah, I love this city. It's very, very vibrant. Of course, during these times, it's not so much people going outside and everything, but this city is very, very lively, and people going out a lot and sitting on terraces, sitting on cafes, kafanas, like original ones, and meeting people. And it's a habit of meeting people every day after work. You meet your friends. Serbian people are very hospitable, very welcoming, and it's very easy to drop in here.
With your lifestyle here, are you going out very often on a weekly basis? Like when I mean, you're in a prime location with some restaurants and bars, and so do you have a pretty good life going out to these restaurants?
Yes. Okay. If you talk before COVID and after COVID, yes, I would go out like 2 times a week. We go, we're dining out quite a lot comparing what we would do in Finland. So it would be like twice a week. But so I can't talk about last year because of the lockdowns and this. So, but yes, in normal times it would be like 2 times a week.
Okay, so normal times twice a week you would go out for a meal or go to a bar. Okay, so that's probably typical for a lot of people out there. And you probably would eat at home on most days, maybe go shopping. So when you are going out shopping, are you going to the green market or going to the regular grocery stores?
We do both, but I love the green markets because they have the fresh food, and actually food is even cheaper there, but the quality of food is better in getting fresh food. So yes, we use a lot of green markets, and it's only like 5 minutes walking distance from our place. Like there's so many good green markets that.
And in all honesty, people, we've seen a little bit of Belgrade, and I can't say that I've seen what you would call like a bad area that is not an area that's livable, but this area is really prime. So this is a prime location. What would a person be looking for in rent? How large of a home do you have here?
We have 58 square meters, so it would be about 600 square feet.
I think that comes out. I'll put the actual translation in. So it's 58 square meters, and I'll give you the square feet here in a second.
11 feet to the square meter.
Yeah. And how much was that a month for rent for a 58 square meter apartment?
Yes, that would be typically in this area, I would say, because our rent is actually cheap. So to say which is average, it would be like 10 euros per square meter. It would be like $1 per square feet, basically. Okay. So it's about, but it varies a lot, because of course how good condition the building is, or of course in the area. But now I'm talking about Stari Grad, the old city, and this area. So it would be that's an average. So in this area, usually 2 1-bedroom apartments are about 600 euros.
Yeah, so
But to be honest, we pay less. we are lucky to find a good one.
okay, so you're looking at about 600 euros a month to be down here in the Stari Grad area of Belgrade, which is really prime. It's got the pedestrian area. So from a standard of an American or Canadian or parts of people from the West, that's going to be a very affordable monthly rent, and so that's for the one bedroom down here. What about your utilities and internet and other additional expenses?
Yes, they would be talking about that size of an apartment. It would be like 150 euros a month about. So it would be like heating and internet and electricity and water.
Is that your cable television also?
I actually have no idea. We don't have TV.
Okay.
So I don't really know about cable TV.
I know our friends had a package in Novi Sad, so that's why I was.
So what about your internet? What does that normally run you per month?
I think it's about 20 to 30 euros a month. But we are actually having agreement with our landlord that we are paying the fixed price of everything included.
Okay.
So I don't.
So it's 150 and you have your everything in there.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I know that I've been like checking the bills once in a while when I was sending them during the lockdown time. So I've seen some of them, but I can't really remember how. But it's around that. So 150 together.
Okay. So we're looking at for utilities, internet, and for the rent, we're running about 750 euros right now for the.
They would be, but we pay less, like half of that price, I would say.
Oh, you pay half of that price.
Yeah.
So.
But it's like the other people in this area pay 600 plus
Okay,
expensive.
so
Yeah.
that's what the standard might be out there. So she's got a little bit of a break, so her cost is a bit below that. So. So for those of you looking to come here, we don't want to set up an unrealistic expectation. So we'll go with the higher amount, even though Tanya's getting a break.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know some people, the other expats here, that other woman who is paying 1,000 euros for a similar apartment very close by here. So it varies a lot. But I would say that 10 euros per square meter, so about 600 would be the regular price, the average price for that. But then if you go outside of the Stari Grad, if you go to Novi Beograd or some like little bit of suburban, you can find apartments for 200.
Okay, so if you go a little bit further away from the downtown, you get something equivalent for 200 euros.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of similar to what we were experiencing in Novi Sad. Some people would be in the 300 to 400 euro range per month, and some a little bit higher. Or some people have wrote to me saying that they're living on basically 400 euros a month for everything included in Novi Sad, which to me would be really, really hard to understand or be able to budget on that one. But I do know that there's a lot of people in Serbia that are in that bracket. So this is geared mostly to those from the Canada or the US or from the West that might be looking at Serbia at what it might cost to come here. So when we look at your going out, so now we'll talk about your groceries and your restaurants. What do you put into a monthly budget, do you think, for your cost for food, for restaurants and those things?
Yeah, I'd say that everything included. I mean, also our rent and food and everything included. We use 1,000 to 1,200 euros a month for 2 people and a cat. So yeah, so that is, and I would say that is a lot for an average Serbian person.
So that's your entire budget.
Yeah, that's entire.
Yeah. So
in Belgrade, that's impressive.
And that's going out to eat twice a week. And
yeah, normal times. Yeah.
Normal times going out to eat twice a week, or going to a bar a couple times a week, and then going for your typical grocery shopping, cleaning supplies, and all of that bundled up. So from a Western standpoint, that's a very, very comfortable budget. So that's 2 people and a cat.
Yeah.
And for those that are watching, I'll be translating this into dollars on most of this part. Now I guess I'll translate this other part to euros in a second. But the average American that is retired from their Social Security check, a single person typically will make $1,500 a month for Social Security, and a typical couple combined typically receive about $2,500 a month for retirement. So that would provide a substantial income in the country of Serbia if you were choosing to come to Serbia to retire full-time or part-time. And you know, there's different residency programs based on different brackets. Can be a little bit complicated for Americans coming over here. So the easiest way to get residency, from what we understand, is to either open a small corporation, which doesn't have to be a money-making corporation, or to buy a home.
Yes.
And in the residency for people in the EU, I think there could be some differences in there. What have you experienced as far as residency in the country of Serbia? And I think you did a blog about staying in Serbia beyond 90 days also. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes, yeah, that is one of the, we have a Facebook group for expats and foreign people moving to Serbia, and those are our newcomers or just coming. And the one of the most often asked questions there is that how to get a residency in Serbia. And I would say people think it's very hard, and of course it's hard if you don't speak the language, and if you don't know the Cyrillic alphabets, it might be hard to understand the whole process, and it's hard to find information about it. But if I compare to many other countries that I've been working in, I would say that it's very easy actually in Serbia, because it's not that simple. You don't just move to some country and buy a property and say that okay, you are welcome to stay forever. Yes. But so it's basically you do the paper process, and depends a little bit of course where you're from, because that's how the world is. So as me, I'm an EU citizen, so what I'm saying, I'm a privileged person to say, because I know that I'm coming from the rich country myself, and unfortunately the rules that before me might not be the same for people coming from some other countries, but the law is the same for everyone anyway. But then, you know, that's how the world
yes.
goes. But yes, but it is. I would say the process is simple. It took about 1 month to get a 1-year residency.
Okay, so you, after a year, do you have to renew that residency?
Yes, yes.
And is there a limit on how many times you can renew the 1-year residency?
Usually, well, it depends on the reason. If you come here to work or you buy a property, you can do it 5 times, and then you get the permanent residency if you want to stay.
Okay, so you get permanent.
Yes, but then if you're marrying a Serbian, then you get it after 3. Then you get it after 3 years. It's a little bit of break. That's my fiancé. So
hi.
Say that, Warren and Julie.
Okay, so Ismo is joining us. So this is Tanya's other half. So as we explained, she's got there's 2 of them on their monthly budget here, and Ismo is also from Finland.
Yep.
And Ismo, you just came back from work right now?
Yeah, that's right. I'm a trainee in the Finnish embassy here.
Oh,
so yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so that's of course another way, if you've got a job where you're working in Serbia, you can stay here that route as well, of course. So, and you've been in Serbia for how many years?
As many as Tanja. So what is it? 2 and 2.5 almost. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you before we wrap it up here. Anything else you'd like to share with anybody that's tuning in and considering Serbia?
Well, one thing I always want to say, there's a lot of prejudices against Serbians and Serbia as a country, and a lot of people do just remember the old war times, and they're afraid of this country. I would say that Belgrade is one of the safest capitals in the whole world. I feel it's perfectly safe to, I mean, it's not many places as a woman going out in the middle of the night walking in the dark streets that I feel completely safe.
I mean, yeah, that's a real important point. For those of you that have a preconceived idea about what Serbia is like and you haven't seen our other videos, if this is the first time you're looking at a video, check out some of the other videos we've done. Learn a little bit about Serbia's actual current situation. A lot of people that make any comments that seem derogatory about the country of Serbia, they are living typically in the past, and going back to 1999 to the early 2000s, you know, things that happened 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years ago, it doesn't matter in today's Serbia. So let's get past what you know from Hollywood or know from old news stories. This is Serbia today. So again, check out the other videos, and we actually will have, you know, about a dozen different videos about Serbia and our experiences here. So please get to know them all before you make comments about old history.
Pass judgment.
Yeah.
Before you pass judgment.
And then send me a comment on my blog if you want to meet us here when you're coming. I'm gonna totally help you out.
Wonderful.
And so, you know, from Julie and I and Ismo and Tanja, and of course Arya and Katie over here, thanks for joining us, everybody. Until next time, have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Again, thanks for joining us, everybody. As a reminder, Julie and I, we're traveling the world with our 2 dogs. We're trying to see what it's like to live in other countries, spending 1 to 3 months in each location. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and don't forget to give this video a like. And we'll look forward to sharing our experiences with you. And until next time, have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.